All right, we should be going live here soon. As soon as I see things are up, things are good, no drop frames, everything's happy. Hey, get into it. All right, welcome back, folks, to GPT with me, host Travis Frisinger, resident AI adventurer. Yeah, so let's go over the work stream. First things we're going to be doing, well, I'm going to get into the next episode here, episode 20. Hooking up the UI with the API, still pair programming with generative AI with ChatGPT. Copy and paste. Get far enough along, it happens pretty quick. I might do a little refactoring with Codium. Want to kind of exploring that. But I found a new tool. This is a new space to me, so learning every day, not from a coding per se perspective, but kind of like what to do on this little cool little place. Descript, aware of it. I was sure not. And the part I like is a lot of like in browser editing and stuff. And there's some definitely nice to haves. But it's this kind of little underlord AI assistant. How it can do some of the things I'm thinking about. Like social posts, it can write a blog post. I used it yesterday to write a podcast. Well, so these are starting to become more the specific types of tools. Now, I have been using it to remove filler words, which is great, and to create clips, which will allow me to create up to like 5 minutes of various things in the video. Stream like this, there can be a few things. I'm struggling to find a lot of good content. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the tool not being that great. But regardless, it's more reason for me to continue building Scribe platform. No, it won't look as Paul. There's 160 people behind this. But as long as it starts to kind of fill utility and address some of the concerns in my life, which right now happen to be just getting transcripts on these things and getting good summaries. Those seem to be two really to driving in traffic site. I'll think about shorts and longer form content maybe a bit later. Likely would write proper scripts and do. So that seems like a lot more work. I'm really willing to put in. The goal is to build a tool, build expertise, feed that into some other things like books and podcasts and whatnot. But that was cool. I just wanted to share that there's this element in the mix to drive out what Scribe is. Cool. So that was a recap. Mark that as done. Now I want to hook up the UI to the API. So remember, we've got a real simple UI URL in. You tell it to give it any kind of hinting prompt to help with the transcription, which really is kind of like punctuation terms, that kind of thing. Not specifically for I wanted to summarize the content of that would be kind of a post transcription task, and maybe there will be a little list of common post transcription workflows. I don't know. I don't know what I just want to get off the command line. I want to get it so I can launch things, do the transcription and do the copies and the paste and work with things. Obviously building out towards the big. Cool. All right, so we got our code here. So remember we got the UI here. We got an API also hooked up and working. Try this two-screen format. Hopefully it works out. So effectively the API was allowing us from the command line to make that HTTP request, get the JSON back. Oh, now whether we should be sending a file, full JSON, a file with a summary or the full JSON, I'm not sure yet. I know my common use case is copy and paste. So I'm very likely to just want to continue to try to do that. Super likely as well that I will hit roadblocks immediately once I have that hooked up and want other things. Not sure how this works, right? Cool. All right, so what are we doing? We're hooking things up. So let's go back to our threads here. That's the API. I want the UI one. So I've kind of trying to keep the threads here. All right, so that was the UI one. I want to go back to it. It's got the context. Effectively, I am probably going to be looking for. I go back to the that. I'm going to go here and in the user trans button, it should call the API JSON like case like. All right, so now I know I need to go get some JSONese type stuff. Uh so the trick was that it was calling down into the Python, right? This was calling a bit of code, so that's going to go call this effectively what it passed all the way back here. Python code that's being called by Node. I still haven't wired in the SRT adjustment or the VTT adjustment. That is something that I wanted factoring. But first port was just to get things up, wired into end. All right, so that's there. I've given it that. Let's just double check that we have Billy. What is it doing? It's going to call that a uh, of calling their service. Okay, so let's see what happens. True. Might be a way to do this with Copilot. I still haven't figured that out. Podium, the coding Copilot. All right, so I'm gonna just close this out, telling us, look, button, you need to update the form component to use fetch API. Update the form, state management, edit state, all handling. Let's. Okay, so it's txt. Much easier doing this than constantly swapping windows. So I'm hopeful. Let me close out all the noise source. Um. All right. Well, last episode here. We don't want that. That thread either. Just go to you.
Oh, hi there. I'm the T. Today I'm here.
Our transcribe button's gone. No, no. I found. Oh, you know why? It's not running. That's the by. Right. Probably. Make sure things. Hey, that was not. Oh, okay. Happening. Stir. Transcript. So it looks pretty funny. Okay. All right. A few problems. First of all, what's different? Wait, local tribe host. Let's go back. Let's tell it quick the problems. Let's let it. Yeah, this was always going to probably be a bit debuggy type thing. I'm hooking these two pieces together. The goals are just co-create with generative AI. Probably trouble doing some experimentation. Paste in form.css. Could be the fact that I'm sure there's some level of caching used. It was my concern, I guess. But it's good to see how hard is it to nudge it back, right? Like back to hope that the style submit. Server. Oh, ah, I. Okay, all right, that's back up. General tab. Yeah, change. While let's see. Basket. How I change. Because I need it on a different. Both can't run on 3000. Server. Very capable. 1001. Should start on 3000. Yes, I want to make sure it's working. Watch me as I arrow over. Good. Okay, so I'm still getting it working. API 2001. So it was really easy to bump it back, get it here. The whole goal is just get it to the console output. Cool. So while we wait, all right, that worked. That worked. Get this fired back up on 1000 to make sure every day. All right, so we're waiting for this. Not into server. Fail to fetch. Access origin locked. No, remember I'm driving things out. I goal here is to try. I get drive out as much as I can without physically typing. Your ChatGPT pairing or co-piloting, Codium goal is to not have to do. Now, obviously, this is perfect. Like magic code happen types. But it's about assessing that gap, about understanding the friction it takes to be productive. So whereas a probably should have done it on the AI thread, but app app. All right, there we go. Piece is over. I am typing a small bit of code, sure, but they way that fluidly move. But I am worried I can go back right here. And I can change this and Where's breath. Uh, I am gonna go back over. Of course, I have this. I wanted to accept from localhost. I ideally want to run this in a single container. We have the API by and identifies what's public facing, and the API accepts requests. That's the have to. That looks better, right? I go Duke. Yes. The server responded bad request. Out. Oh, transcription type normal. It doesn't exist. Ah, I'm giving it the wrong data. Ah. All right, so here is a small problem. I know for a fact that the UI is not come here. I'm just gonna go fix this up and tell it what normal. there. Quick. Quick. Good. Add request. Okay. What am I doing? It has been council. Tell it. Oh, come on. Change. Well, what I changed it to. And go. See what happens. All right. So, look, it's well structured. All right. It looks like it's just trying to readmit everything here. Add. Let's just see what it has to say. Remember, driving this all out. Little coding is possible. It isn't the worst thing that knows a little. 400 after the error. Okay, so there's a few why. URL and transcription type. Okay, so let's go look. Here we go. See, this is so cool. This is the part I really like. It starts to give me debugging steps. It's where when it's fluid and it's normal, it doesn't start suggesting that. I've seen this off screen before where I'm writing code. In fact, it happened with the Python stuff. It starts to say, hey, you're gonna have to put some debugging statements in back that information. It'll help me understand what the problem is. It's just like, oh yeah, okay, you get that we're pairing. On some level, where how that's happening, likely they model a little bit, but it still makes for a fluid experience, right? It doesn't diminish the utility of what's happening less. Okay, cannot starting modified. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so it's telling me to test. I'm gonna just copy this. Maybe my form somehow like that understands to be there. Bad request. Okay, so my question is gonna be: I've got this. It's sending me the error. Form processing response else response stuff status. Here. 432. air property. Let's just do a console.log air. Just gonna trying to do is change this invalid YouTube. I have one. It's gone off the screen. I'm gonna tell it. The error returned. I'm trying to help it understand how to give me better information. I mean, great, it's console.logging. Got a little bit of distance to go right before we actually get things. There we go. Air.air. Air.air or air. Pull that. Oh, no, I cannot pull that. Long. That should be the right bit of code. I'm just going to tell it. I got just saying. I don't want it to readmit everything. Okay. Cool. I'm getting an invalid YouTube. It's a lot more useful to me. Let's go make it a not so in. Happening. I can see it. I just need some spinners and stuff, right? Here we go. Failed to parse the script output. Audio is. I keep. Looks good to me. Just. Why does it .txt? Thought for a moment I had a small bug with file typing. Excuse me. I don't. Where could this possibly opt? So we're making some good progress. We got it here. It's spitting this out. What I really wanted to do, I wanted to say, I spinner on drive table. It's funny. You start to iterate. You realize all the little things you kind of get until you're like, oh yeah, it's not a default behavior. Tell it. Spinner on a button when it's submitted. Look at your new dev, maybe even some intermediates. That's okay, right? Trying to figure out how to co-create. Spec perfection. Okay, so it's telling me stuff to update. Okay, so I'm gonna, only been really reliable. So I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna add this. Oh, I lost my. I It does not look right. Okay, so it keeps having some kind of problem on the back end. I need to go troubleshoot that. But we're collaborating. It's working. It looks like poo. It probably doesn't know what a good spinner looks like. To be fair, I may need to go find some examples and feed it in. Um, let's see what it does based on the it looks like poo feedback. Okay, wait. That's better. That looks a whole lot better, right? Like, yeah, I just gave it a pretty generic instruction, samples, and it gave me something that didn't make my eyes bleed. My bar's not very high, right? But it's working. Okay, cool. So let's get good this in here. Status. Add updates to server. There we go. We'll go push that. Okay, cool. So now we just need to figure out what's going on. Python here. I mean, this is a bit convoluted, I guess, but it started as a script that I'm building a UI and an API, hooking the pieces together. One man show working with, generative AI, not a full engineering department. Once it's bootstrapped, once it's POC'd, start growing things maybe a little more maturely. The goal was to get here as quickly as possible. Done that. Um, Built a process, but then it still kicks back the whole thing. Well, there's very likely some kind of weird scenario. Oh, I don't need that. Right? If I come here and I just do the call, works. Oh no, it doesn't. Oh, look at that. Oh, cool. Well, that's useful. It wasn't really part of the plan, but we are having some problems here. Noticing. Oh no, it will be. All right, let's try again. All right, so it's not an issue that's unique to me hooking things up incorrectly. Until I get past this somehow, I can't really throw it over here in the notifications menu. Some fine tuning and finessing. We probably just go with you. Oh, some dummy did. I don't. It all gets right. is going. Oh, Codian wants to chat. No, I don't think. So I don't know specifically, and why am I trying to figure? Oh, oh, there is one other way to do this. Not debug. Do it. The script doesn't open. If this works without fail, then there's something weird, right? Audio file is gotta be somewhere I don't. Okay, I'm definitely down all the way. Ah, process audio. Download. Not there. How does it know where it is? It's just. I'm gonna try that. I'm not even sure where this is. Let's try. Lost on. Yeah, we kind of went general troubleshoot bugging, right? Part of the process, right? See, audio file prompt. All right. So how to code Explorer. I am very confused. Try to tell where the current directory location is. Clear and run again. Oh, well, given this. Oh, the issue is clearly is not there. Okay, so I guess another way would be to something's off here. Don't know not why it's doing that now. Connections. And that's probably BC. Eddie. Why does it give me a problem? Ready at. Okay. Ready at already. Need. Okay, but that's okay. Up. I want this, right? Is ready at I know what Node API, and I get all the logging in JS. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I need to change the log. I think that's okay. It's all about the nature of debugging and troubleshooting with ChatGPT. Cool. Well, I mean, the goal was to get it to the menu. I'd like to stick to an hour. What am I looking? Almost. Let's see. Let's see if we can get there. Half an hour more. Every time I on these funnies in this the Chat GPT chat, I keep thinking it would be nice to make my own chat, but I realize how much work goes into making quality of life. There's an open source project that I've mentioned before stream with, but that's a whole different. I'm gonna part of that. What happens? Lack of Python knowledge there. That looks more like what I'm looking for. Actually, like citizen status, get app, commit, logging file, file adjacent. Oh, all right, we got that fixed up. Let's come back here. Ah, wah, wah. Huzzah. All right. Fantastic. So I've got a service. You know what? We're here. We know there's a little something, something we want to do. So we go, okay, great. Title and turn the title and the JSON too. I know there's going to be a little refactoring, right? Like I know there's probably a few extra things that need around. It's a non-trivial task. I haven't written any tests. Oh, so it's likely that it will be a little bit smoother. But at the end of the day, once it's working and this is all factored out into classes properly, it's files place where testing down. They use ChatGPT. It's still small. There's not a lot of things, but bootstrapped. It's there. It's working. It won't take care like the test data builders in the factory, things that come with the behind. And it would be cool to figure out how to get it there. I don't fine tuning the answer. Seems to be. Martin. With where machine learning was this really laborious process, like CDEV, where you gotta get the scale a million, try to integrate. This is more of a tell it what you want, and it's gonna do the best damn job it can. It comes with some challenge, right? Like it's as rigid as traditional machine learning. It's coming with a lot more flexibility and opportunity. That's really what I'm trying to lean into. As co-create. Seen a lot of memes about junior engineers, ChatGPT, and seen versus seen. I'm a pretty doing this for a long time, and I can tell you, as a good engineer, leaning into ChatGPT, it makes me better working across multiple languages. Something I've done before, but there's always stumbling. Like, it's allowing me to move faster. It's allowing me to focus. It's a really good partner. Why is that there? Because until this works 100% from the UI, and even then, I'm probably going to document. I want to keep. Let's just go see what did you change. So you can see there's a difference in behavior between this thread, which is new, and the older thread, where it was like giving me a description because in that thread I had prompted it early on. I don't know the mechanism. Some of the caching type things that it's doing, got to be some of that happening here, not just an always window. That's okay. I don't need to know, right? I'm just trying to use this as a consumer of the product. Might be ways of doing it in Podium, some kind of. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to dig more. Getting a little bit more comfortable. All right, got to click the creating button. Just like paste, fix the scenario. Feels like there's got to be a way. Idle duration. Cool. I want eat. Up, paste. Go from here. Decent. Not the most amazing. Just about it. Uh, seconds. 4 seconds to what? Uh, all right. I'm pretty happy with it. Why am I working in a monorepo? You might be asking. Well, I like mono. I I find it much easier to decompartmentalize, compartmentalize pieces of the puzzle, keep it in one space, especially considering I don't have colleagues to sharing. Dry generally, not to say dry is invalid. It's just people miss frequently. Want to hear deeper thoughts on dry, you can go to TD website. TD or it's map. Naming, TD cycle, green bars is great. It's a great thing to cover. It must be under factoring. Yeah, dry is the last thing. identify concepts, name things, explore solid. And then at the very end of all of that, think about dry. Because people tend to think about dry because it's easy. Oh, it looks similar. I'll pull it out. No, you just now made a whole bowl. Anyway, I should check it out if you like TDD. Want to know some more? There's a whole course I made as well. I didn't record it. Anyway, I'm getting way off track here. All right. Cool beans. I need to go update a few. The other thread here, right? Here. I'm going to go back to the UI piece. Oh, someday I'll get a new machine. The API shape is. I'm going to tell it this. Remember, I'm feeding it little pieces, prompting it little by little. I don't want to overload it. I don't want to give it a big diatribe of information because you try doing that to a person, they're not going to remember. Funny, the more you work with AI, the more you communication with people versus it. Maybe it's an IQ of 60, really good at certain things with that IQ. I guess it doesn't have organs to keep alive, so maybe spare cycles. Excuse me. All right. For the change, it might be jumping ahead to where I want to, but first. Um. Uh. So that is all wrong. Uh. Into menu. That logging. All right, so it went and did a bunch of things. That information that are wildly inaccurate. I guess maybe that's the other problem is it can spin off in a direction really quickly, where with a junior, a lot easier. Let's see what it does. I want to make sure that I'm go eight. Cool. Code coming out. You know, we are in a place where it is working. It's there. Just be super nice to see it appear here. Click. Cool. So what's it telling me to do? Um, Lots of friction, but getting to that size where it's outputting things. Maybe I'm let it do. Add notifications, update the form. Play an air. How does do that? Well, told me it's doing it. I'm code, but oh, okay, sure. It's got a solution. Notifications. Let's go find it, and it all falls apart. So well, right? And effective experiment. That form state is navigations. Okay, update app. Update. Oh, I'm expecting a lot of it so far has been driving out the shell, right? This is the first major integration EP. Oh, no integration. Wonderful thing about pairing with my partner here is I can just go tell it the problem. And let's see if it makes any suggestions. See what it can do to help us. Go fix it. Hopefully. You know, if this gets through this, I'm super tempted to up even. I still want to explore what code. Okay, notification. Okay, paste. Files I updated. Okay, it told me it's got an invalid YouTube URL. I'm definitely gonna feed back a few things to it here. Oh, you win, especially in this. Uh, oh, that did not work out well. I would say that has been a me. Well, unfortunately, it means I'm gonna have to probably do that way back to. Can you? It on? All right. So what I did is I kind of learned some stuff by pasting it in. Gone back a few points to kind of set the context so file updates and I know what's going to get on. And I'm going to rephrase my question a little bit more elegant for it. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna go do a different track. As far as I can tell from using it, it should forget the context. Okay, cool. So we're gonna get something a little different here. That's okay. We're experimenting, right? Not everything, every piece of code you write works out perfectly. Often issues there. There's things that need to be corrected. So that's what it is, right? Coding was easy to do. None of us were really all right. Close to it. Super fun for all. Oh, I lied. I mean, I did touch on it briefly. That's a very long story. Doing things cut out. Looking at you.net. What low engine that made strings too big to never be deleted. Anyway, for stories from the trenches, okay, I can segment on my. Okay, so let's scroll up. Let's start going. I'm just gonna assume that's good. Call it a day. Hope. Just love to get it. Gone through quite a lot of troubleshooting, bugging. I gave it a lot of instructions. I did the thing I said I'm not sure about. Aha! Here, patient's context. This is a little more what I'm looking for. I knew something was. There, that's where it's. Okay. It's telling me to update the app. All of the. I get this. Does definitely feel like stronger progress. Can't say make any less or more. I don't know. Okay. Copy does valid. Form. Patient. well. YouTube file. Okay. I may save this in a branch. Maybe the first take a branch, push that work. Just so that I can maybe do some experimentation. Don't think we're gonna get a sadly. That's okay. Nice thing is if it's in a branch, I can take a screenshot, say, hey, this is I could stash it. Well, we got everything else right. I can't be too sad. I really can't. Right? Like that's amazing. Let's go here and paste it. Get it? Oh my god. Yes, it did. All right. Well, huzzah! We got it there. It worked. Um, that's awesome. I am just gonna get it to do last few. I am well over the hour, but I think it's worth seeing if it can get. Okay, I got a few. Let notifications. Got how to use. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, this is working. Okay, I got some. Second notification. Oh, form. And the footer needs bottom. Now, obviously, like if they couldn't get this right or I'm having problems, I'd probably just go just figure out what CSS it's dropped. Um, awesome, I love it. I gave it 3 issues. It's telling me, okay, there's 3, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna fix them one by one. First, let's do this. I don't have 2 places. I don't want to lose it. I mean, it's working. I can quite easily go back and make. Even if I can just let's see what we can get. Let's just like I said, a little bit more driving. Come out. That's All right. Cool. So I didn't need everything. Really a little off, and that's gonna worry me slightly. And hold on. Background. This is where my style thing. This gets it. We're gonna call this very hour and a half. Didn't write. Try it one more time, and then I'll recenter it here. Um. Sorry. Uh. Spell it trans. Something up. But yay, huzzah! Through there, it's mostly centered up. Citizen. Slate. Let's try one. Very specific. App done. I'm getting it from text. I'm going to go to text and image. Let's hope for the best here. Let's hope something. Update. If this does the job, doesn't, we're good either way. It's, in a while. And I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I'll not be streaming till probably Wednesday the 14th. somewhere there. Maybe the 13th. Slack messages for work clearly. I do. I did. I'm a popo. Get it. You know. And huzzah! Cool. We'll call that a success. Yeah. Invalid YouTube URL. What was it? SR2. Working. It's here. It's definitely got a little more room for polish. But we're working through getting there with just pairing with ChatGPT. Very little, if any, very little adjustments for my. So with that, it's been great. It's been wonderful. I've really enjoyed this. Longer than usual, but out there, integrations are always hard, right? And an hour and a half, we got it hooked up. We got it working. We worked through some Python script spiffs, funnies. We got the Node working. We got the React stuff hooked up. So I hope you found this useful, entertaining, empowering to go off and experiment on your own, try your own techniques, tools, build your own stuff with generative AI. So I'm building with Gen AI to use Gen AI, pushing out some tooling specifically to creation. Alrighty, folks. Like I said, I'm going to be off till about the 13th, 14th. Charge my. Have a great, wonderful time. And thanks for watching.